Nature is awesome. A beach in Ireland that was washed away more than 30 years ago has reappeared in a demonstration of the awesome power of nature. The beach is on Achill Island, a beautiful scenic spot off the coast of County Mayo on the country's west coast. The area used to have a lovely-looking beach, but that was until 1984, when every last grain of sand disappeared during heavy storms. All that was left was rocks and rock pools, and that's how things stood until last month. Over the Easter period, the Atlantic Ocean deposited hundreds of tons of sand onto the rocks over the course of around 10 days, leaving a 300-meter stretch of fine golden sand. Apparently, the process occurred when strong winds blew the ocean's surface water back. The ocean then took the sand underneath and dumped it onto the rocks. This video, filmed by local company Emma Gill Property Partners, shows how the beach looked before the sand returned. As you can see, Achill, which is the largest island in Ireland, is a pretty place. The island is known for its stunning natural beauty that has inspired writers like Greene and German Nobel Prize winner Heinrich Boll. According to reports, the new beach has boosted tourism to the area. But with the chance that currents may change, it's still too dangerous to go for a dip in the water. Probably a little chilly too. Maybe leave that to the dolphins who are known to drop by the area. Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews. Sometimes life's a real beach.
California man buried alive after sandhole collapse. Family and friends are turning to Facebook to mourn the death of 26-year-old Adam Pye. Pye spent most of the day Monday at the Francis State Beach in Half Moon Bay, hanging out with friends. Together, they dug a 10-foot deep hole in the sand. Shortly after 5:30 p.m., the sand hole collapsed. Within seconds, Pye was completely covered, buried alive. Around 30 beachgoers began rescue efforts, digging using their hands and bucket. It took them around 5 minutes to free his head. Paramedics moved in, but Pye was unresponsive. Paramedics managed to open Pye's airway while rescuers used shovels and other equipment to free his body. Rescuers worked to revive Pye, but sadly he died at the scene.
Help sign on the beach saves 3 castaways. What would I do if this were a movie isn't usually the best course of action. Blasting in your eyes in the middle of the night will probably get you arrested, not into her panties. Don't get the reference? Watch the classics, you Philistines! Anyway, good news! Writing the word help in huge letters in the sand is now officially a movie cliche that works. 3 friends set off from the island of Pulap in the Federated States of Micronesia on April 4th, but a few hours later were hurled into the sea after strong waves capsized their boat. They swam through the dark ocean before finally making it to the uninhabited Fandandik Island, about 4 miles from Pulap. As hours turned to days, the men were reported missing and the U.S. Coast Guard responded to requests for assistance. Now, the Pacific Ocean is kind of big, and even if you do make it to some tiny speck of land, as Tom Hanks and Wilson proved, finding you can still be very tricky. Luckily, however, going into movie mode worked for these 3 unidentified castaways who used palm leaves to spell out "help" on the beach. The men waved their life jackets as they stood near the word, and success! A U.S. Navy P-8A Poseidon aircraft spotted the sign, and the men were rescued less than 4 days into their ordeal. So do write "help" in great big huge letters on the beach, but we recommend waiting as long as possible before eating any of your fellow castaways. Any professional survivalists out there? Tell us what other movie tips are good ideas and which ones are straight up dumb. Who knows? You might save a life or 2.
Another abandoned baby is found in Australia, buried on a beach in Sydney. A baby was found buried in the sand at Sydney's Maroubra Beach on Sunday by 2 boys who were digging in the sand. Police said the body was that of a very small infant and was buried under 30 centimeters of sand. Authorities added that they could not immediately determine the age or sex of the baby. The section of the beach where the baby was found was taped off, and police excavated the surrounding area for forensics. The police are urging the mother of the child to come forward. The discovery of the child comes a week after another newborn was found alive in a Sydney drain after being left there for 5 days.
Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews.
Vacationing woman killed in freak accident. Celebration turned to tragedy after a runaway beach umbrella snuffed a woman's life out from under her. Lottie Belk was at Virginia Beach on Wednesday to celebrate her upcoming birthday and anniversary. Winds up to 25 miles per hour had been reported that day. A particularly strong gust uprooted an anchored umbrella and sent it flying across the sand. The sharp end of the umbrella struck Belk, stabbing her right in the chest. The impact knocked her to the ground as bystanders rushed to help. Rescuers brought her to the hospital where she later died from her injuries. Belk was a mental health professional from Chesterfield, Virginia. She's survived by her husband and 2 kids.
Dad refuses to let lifeguards rescue his drowning daughter. A father has been arrested in Dubai after he stopped rescuers from saving his drowning daughter's life to avoid dishonoring her. According to Emirates 24/7, the father, described as a strong and tall Asian man, was having a picnic with his family at the beach. Soon after his kids had gone swimming, screams were heard. His 20-year-old daughter was drowning. 2 lifeguards spotted the girl and rushed to save her life. However, her father stopped them, saying if they touched her, they'd dishonor her. He reportedly told them he preferred his daughter dead rather than be touched by a strange man. Dubai police later arrested the father for preventing his daughter's rescue. Emirates 24/7 reports that he will be prosecuted.